everyone. Welcome to Leadership Insight, where today we're going to talk about the importance of affiliative leadership. In this journey, it is so important whether you are thinking about becoming a first line supervisor, second line supervisor, or even if you've been in the leadership game for a while, we still must stay abreast of the different leadership styles and what's being said now. Yes, we need to know what was said yesterday, but we also need to know what's being said now, and which should always be an ever evolving learning process. And because of that is why we are going to be talking about affiliative leadership. We are live. Please don't forget to like and subscribe from whatever platform you are viewing us from. Again, come on in. When we're talking about affiliative leadership, it centers on creating strong emotional bonds between leaders and their teams. This session today is especially relevant for career women, for anyone out there that's working who is aiming to advance into higher leadership roles, higher leadership levels. And you need to understand choosing the right leadership style or the right situation can definitely be a crucial, critical element to your success. Last week, if you missed it, it was all about communicating your boundaries effectively. Specifically, we covered identifying your non negotiables, recognizing signs of burnout and stress, and our third point was setting healthy limits to protect your well being. We are getting ready for some of us going into lots of holiday season. And so, because of that, it is important to make sure that you have boundaries and that you're communicating them effectively as well. Now, back to today, by the end of this leadership insight, you're going to understand what affiliative leadership is, why it works in some situations and maybe not so good in others, and how you can decide when to implement this style effectively. Now, there isn't a right way to be a leader. That's why knowing the difference between leadership styles like affiliative leadership can help you to stand out. Let's take a quick look at what we're going to be talking about today. Now, today are 3 points. Strengths of affiliate. I've been saying affiliative for only because I'm on camera. Am I struggling with the word affiliative? Our 3 points today. Strengths of affiliative leadership, when affiliative leadership falls short. And our third point is going to be balancing affiliative leadership with other styles. Now, let's do a quick roll call because we want to know who is out there. So, whether you are catching us live, whether you are catching us on the replay, let us know that you're out there, who you are, and if there is something that's resonating with you, again, whether now, whether it's the replay, let us know. If you ever have a question, you can always connect with us on any of our social media platforms. Now, I want to tell a quick story. Let's say you recently was promoted into a leadership position in a team that has been through some challenges and some changes. Maybe it's a merger, maybe there were layoffs, maybe your team is going through internal conflict. I am sure saying internal conflict, you all, some of you said, yes, you had me at hello. Yes, because my team right now, or you're like, listen, I am in a team, whether you're a leader or not, you're like, I'm in a team and let's talk about that internal conflict. That's not exactly what we're going to talk about, but you're feeling where I'm coming from. Whether it's a low morale, people are interested in no matter what anyone has to say. And it's clear that maybe no one trusts one another. In those situations, you need to get your team to work together. And you probably need to do it sooner than later, right? Affiliative leadership is all about making links on the emotional level And that can be incredibly useful. Now, for some of you out there, I don't want to touchy feely is not the correct word, but there are a couple of you probably out there. Listen, I just want to be that leader that just comes in. I want to be authoritative. I want to have that command presence and do what I say. Don't ask me questions. Okay. This is going to be a little stretch for you. But this is exactly why I need you to stay tuned in, locked in, because you need to be able to stretch your leadership. And it's important to know that when things aren't going well, you have other mechanisms to be able to draw from. The way you can lead will either speed up or slow down your process and your leadership journey. The affiliative method puts people first, which makes it a great way to be able to build trust, and it also boosts morale. Now, with that being said, it does have its drawbacks. You need to know when to use it, and even more importantly, when not to depend on it. The affiliative leadership style works best when teams are all over the place, when moods are bad, morale is low, but it also does not improve performance. And this is why you need to know when to use it, when not to use it, especially again, if your morale is bad, yes, we want to move into affiliative, but you also need to understand that affiliative does not boost performance. You definitely need to know those differences. So knowing when to use it and how to use it is what's going to help you be the leader to be able to get your team through any tough times. And it also will help to make them stronger. Before we move into our points, let me talk a little bit more about affiliative leadership. I want to spell affiliative leadership out for you. I want to give you a simplistic definition. The goal of this leadership style is to build strong emotional ties with a team. It helps to promote harmony and put people's emotional needs ahead of tasks and goals. A lot of value is put on conversations, understanding, and emotional intelligence in this type of leadership style slash role. It definitely helps to build relationships, teamwork, and it helps with making sure that there's trust within a team. When there is stress or disagreement at work, affiliative leaders often try to make a good place for everyone to work together. That means that teams can start the healing process, and they can get back to their normal day-to-day operations. If you're wondering, where do we get this from? This is one of 6 ways that Daniel Goleman says people can lead. Let's definitely jump into our points for today. Our first point: strengths of affiliative leadership. When we're talking about this, it's all about focus on people first. That's right. Focus on your people first. Being empathetic is at the heart of this type of leadership. It works very well when your team is having, again, things like mental struggles, problems, when they are getting over a fight, or maybe there's been lots of changes at work. This is when you want to bring this style in. This style also helps to build confidence and loyalty by putting relationships first. They're not tossing them to the side. They're bringing people front and center. This makes the team environment where everyone is going to feel valued. Everyone is going to feel understood. Common emotional issues could include whether you're talking about a team that's very stressed, maybe the workload, the demand is high. Perhaps people have left and that's increased the workload. When we're talking about stress and burnout, this is a style you may want to lean into. High stress, when there's conflict, again, low morale, things like layoffs, reorgs, and tell me, some of you are going through reorgs right now, and definitely with the change in leadership. Definitely, this is a great time to be able to bring people together versus continuing to see the separation that's happening for some places, not all places, just for some. It could be whether you've lost someone on your team, whether it's a personal loss, if it's a group loss, when you see people are suffering, not being appreciated enough, these are things that you can start to think, oh, that could trigger. Maybe I need to move into this particular leadership style. If your team happens to be going through a big change, perhaps it's a merger, perhaps it's the reorg we were just talking about, whether it's new leadership or maybe you have a huge change in strategy. Some of your team may be worried. Some of it could be because of job security, future roles. Maybe they're wondering what's expected of me. This is when you can definitely move into this particular leadership style. Best in times of conflict or stress, this type of leadership style works extremely well when things are tough. This can be a way to be able to get your team back into a balance, if you will, a peace, if you will. If you notice that the moods are dropping, if you notice someone's disconnected, or if the whole entire team is disconnected, this is what you need to set you up for long-term success. Now, our second point, when affiliative leadership falls short. I said this earlier when we're talking about performance. This is not the leadership style that you want to bring out when you need your performance high. So, there, I said it. Just remember, this leadership style is not about driving performance, great numbers, because performance, if you only stay in this leadership style, performance can start to suffer. This style is great for making rhythm, but it's not, again, tied with you're going to get great performance out of this. No. Too much affiliative leadership can make you care less about getting the job done well because you are putting all of your focuses on people and relationships. And that's why we say, yes, it's good when morale is low, but if you need to push for performance, you need to meet a particular goal like yesterday, then you're going to need to switch over or you're going to need to add in another component, but later for that. Also, this leadership style falls short because of a lack of direction. Affiliative leadership tends to avoid conflict. We're about bringing everybody and their mama, their brother, their sister so it's really, we're not talking about giving directions or things like of that. When your team needs clear instructions and a strong direction, emotional intelligence might not be enough on its own. Teams might not have a goal or follow through if there is no responsibility to balance out the emotional support. And so that's going to bring us to our third point, balancing affiliative leadership with other styles. You have to, and especially if you're like, oh, Clark Joy, Coach Miranda, this sounds real interesting, and this is my jam. I feel like this is who I am and who I want to be as a leader. And especially if you're new to the leadership game, keep the momentum, stay excited. I need you to pair affiliative with another leadership style. Don't lose heart. You can claim your stake and say, yes, I am an affiliative leadership person. That's my style. That's my main go to. I just need you to pair it with something else. So you can pair it with maybe authoritative or a coaching style. When you use it with another style, affiliative leadership really truly works best. For instance, once you've earned back your trust of your team or you have put the conflict to bed, if you will, you might want to switch to an authoritative style that makes things clearer. Or on the other hand, you can combine affiliative with a coaching style, and that lets you build on people skills while keeping an eye on the big picture. And then you need to understand it's all about, and this is leadership in general, it's all about adaptability. So with affiliative, definitely adaptability is going to be your best friend. because you need to be able to adapt. You are rising through the ranks, some of you, and being able to switch these styles. It's what's crucial. It's what's key to get a team's emotion back in check. Absolutely. That's what we want. You might start with the affiliative leadership, but once again, they are gelling, there is cohesion. Then this is where you're going to just do that quick switch and you're going to rock another leadership style in conjunction. Because once they're better, it's going to be time to make sure that as a leader, your eye is still on what are our stats? Are we meeting the mission goals? Are we making sure that we're doing everything that we need to do? Is efficiency there? If you're a production-based business, is your production there? How's the feedback? How are the results? Because at the end of the day, when you're working for someone else, those things are important too. And when it comes to this leadership style, we definitely say it's great and pair it with another. Let me go ahead and sum everything up. When we're talking about affiliative leadership, it is an important leadership style. Listen, especially in today's world where we have divisiveness, we have teams that are just getting together, we have hiccups on teams. We need to know how to bring people together. We need that skill set. People need emotional support. People need mental support. People need trust in an organization, in an office, on a team. And it is important to make sure that you're focusing on those things. However, it's important to know what affiliative leadership can't do. If you depend too much on this style, you might not do as well, and you could lose your way and lose the team on the way. That is why it's important to be flexible and to find your balance or to find your own peace during this time. We talked about the benefits of affiliative leadership today, especially when there's stress or if there's strife. The times when it doesn't work, especially when it comes to keeping people accountable and driving success. And also how important it is to balance this style with others. I only talked about authoritative and coaching leadership style, but there's so many more. You need a plan because you don't want to utilize this leadership style on its own. Understanding how and when to use affiliative leadership is going to empower you to make informed decisions in your career journey as you step into either a leadership position, into higher roles, knowing when to be the leader who focuses on connection and when to shift gears can be the difference between this harmonious team and a high performing one. I always end with a quote. Today is no different. Leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. I have used this quote before because I love it. It is really the core of prioritizing the well-being, emotional support of others and your team to be able to foster this trust and unity, especially in difficult times. Do not forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate you watching us. Thank you for being here today. And I hope that this particular session leaves you with understanding affiliative leadership better and for you to know, is this the right style for you? Please join me next week for more incredible insights. You deserve nothing but the best. It's my goal to ensure that you move to your next level. Let's take your career to new heights together.